Hey, hey, my man, come here, you gotta see this. Idiot. It's been a while since I made my last video because I had never-ending studies. But now it is summer, which means even more studies.
Why?
But at this point, screw my studies and let's focus on game development. Now, if you didn't know, I'm making a game called Bonds of Unity. A fast-paced first-person shooter where you combine different types of weapons to destroy enemies. Now, I have been working on this game for a very long time and made a lot of levels. But for this devlog, we will focus on my lastest level so far, which is King Rubik's Dungeon. This level is different than other levels, where other levels are straightforward with secret passages here and there. This level is instead a roguelite type of level, where you destroy a bunch of enemies inside different rooms to proceed to the next. First of all, let's make the battle arena. I made a metal block with red light, and with my amazing spaghetti code I turned it into a weird psychedelic room, which looks pretty cool. Then I made a lava room with blue lava that burns your booty when you touch it. In this lava room you have to fight enemies in a tight area, otherwise they will push you into the lava and burn your booty. But if you are a pro gamer like myself, you can push the enemy back into the lava and burn his booty instead. And finally, I made a room where lava rises occasionally and you have to stay on the air as much as you can by deploying hook shots or by using enemies as a platform. Now let's design the enemies. First, I designed a very small enemy with a low HP but dodges attacks easier. He's called the block crawler. Then I made a medium-sized enemy with a balance between HP and movement speed. He's called the block walker. Then I made a large enemy with large HP and damage output. He's called the block titan. Then finally I made a flying enemy. He's called the block wheel. You see, since the rooms are randomly generated, it makes sense to make the enemies also randomly generated with different weapons and abilities. This will make this level highly replayable, since every time the player plays the level, he encounters different enemies in different rooms every time. So let's start making their abilities. So the idea is to attach different blocks to the enemy, with each block having a different ability. A red block that shoots laser, a brown block that gives its owner massive HP and stun resistance, but acts as the enemy's weak point, sort of like a headshot. A green block that heals its owner constantly, a purple block that activates a shield that blocks the player's attacks, a grey block that resists all damage it takes, and finally a blue block that links to other blue blocks to form a connection that harms the player if he touched it. Now let's mix all what we made so far.
Oh shit! Hey! Fuck!
I made the Walker and the Titan excellent chasers, as they jump to you when there's a pit. But those idiots sometimes mess up and fall into the pit instead. This is actually a bug, but watching them fall is kind of funny. So I will keep it, and now it is a feature. I also made their speed increase whenever they are low on HP. Oh no, what's he doing? Anyway, about the real enemy, I made him fly up or down depending on the player's altitude. I also made him fall whenever he's stunned, so that the player can either shoot him easily or simply push him into the lava for an instant kill. Now what's the point of enemies if we don't have anything to shoot them with? So I made two new weapons, the missile herder and the Brr 100. Let's start explaining the missile herder first. Left clicking while holding the missile herder doesn't shoot it directly, you need to lock on an enemy first. This will launch 8 missiles that target the enemy's weak point, dealing massive single target damage. You may think that this weapon is broken because it basically deals tons of damage, but locking onto the enemy is harder than you think it is. Stop moving. Stop moving. Hey dude, no, stop moving. You little piece of... Now let's start making the second weapon. Brr 100 makes bullets go brr. Low accuracy but with medium damage and high fire rate for all of you who likes to shoot blindly. There is not much to talk about this weapon though. Now let's start making the boss of this level, King Rubik. I want to make him a bizarre, greedy king who likes to see battles and blood. He will make a deal with the player to give the player what he came for if the player clears 10 rooms in his dungeon. But in the end he will trick him and lock him in his dungeon to fight forever until the player gets aid from his homeland that directs him out of the dungeon. And right after the player gets out, he will be confronted by King Rubik himself and the boss fight begins. Here is King Rubik's initial design.
Nice.
Now this can be changed at any time, but this is fine so far. And this is really all for today. The boss fight will not be made today. We will make it in a future video, so if you want to see that, subscribe. Also comment down if you have any ideas on how to improve the level. Also, I made a Twitter dedicated account for Bonds of Unity updates. Go follow it now and share your opinions there. Its link is in the description. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.